Hi guys, welcome to NetGate Chemistry. So today we are going to start with the chapter of quantum chemistry. So quantum chemistry is a chapter which is a very scoring chapter also because a lot of questions are being asked in CSIR net as well as gate exams. But also keep in mind that quantum is also a very lengthy chapter. So if we talk about quantum chemistry, then actually, around the year 1929, mathematical expression for molecular orbital theory and valence bond theory, which we study, it was given by using the Schrodinger wave equation, which we actually study in quantum mechanics. That is major part of physics. That is a major part of physics. So that Schrodinger wave equation was developed, and from there the development of quantum chemistry was started. So actually, according to quantum chemistry, if we look at the model of hydrogen atom, then they describe, if suppose this is a nucleus, and around this nucleus if electron is revolving, then quantum chemistry talks about the wave nature of electrons. That is, it says that the electron which is moving around this nucleus, it is in the form of wave, right? It moves around the nucleus in the form of continuous wave which remains in same phase and not undergoing any interference. This is the saying by quantum chemistry. So we are going to discuss that in detail afterwards, but before starting quantum chemistry, you need to have some basic mathematical knowledge. So in this particular video, we are first going to discuss about differentiation and integration, only the part of differentiation and integration which is required for quantum chemistry, and not elaborate discussion of them. Okay, so first we are going to start with the differentiation. So now we are not going to elaborate too much because quantum itself is a very big topic. So right now we are directly going to write down the formulas which are required in the differentiation part. Okay, so first we'll just write down the basic important formulas which we will require throughout quantum chemistry. So just bear with me and write down the formulas. Here differentiation is represented by d by dx. X is any variable. So if we are going to differentiate x to the power n, so n is any constant and x is a variable, and we are differentiating that, then we are going to get n x to the power n minus 1. That means if we want to differentiate this function x to the power n, then what we have to do is take n here, okay, in front, take n here, and the power of x will be reduced by 1, that is n minus 1. So this is the formula for the differentiation of x to the power n. Now the second formula is d by dx of e to the power ax. So in this case, what we are going to do, first we'll write this whole function as it is, that is e to the power ax. Then what we are going to do is, we have this ax is again going to get differentiated, and after differentiation what we are going to get is a. Now if I want to give you an example for this formula, then I can give you this example. For example, I want to differentiate a function x cube. Then what I have to do is, instead of n in this formula, I have to write down 3. So d by dx of x to the power n is nx to the power n minus 1. Now d by dx of x to the power 3 will be 3 x to the power 3 minus 1. Now here in this formula, what I have done is, instead of n, I have written 3. Now again on solving, we will get 3x to the power 3 minus 1, that is 2. So differentiation of x to the power 3 will give us 3x square. Okay. Now you will be wondering how I have differentiated this ax and got a, because differentiation of x is 1. Okay. dx by dx gives 1, right? So if I'm going to differentiate this ax, then what I'm going to do is, a is constant, so constant always comes out, so a into dx by dx, so that is 1. So that's why I have not written that. That's why this is the only answer. So the formula is this one: dy dx of e to the power ax is equals to e to the power ax into a. Now the next formula is, in this case also, if we want to differentiate this function, then first we'll write, exponential functions are always written first as it is, so we'll write e to the power ax square. Now we have in power ax square, so this ax square will again get differentiated. A is a constant, so it will be here. Now x square, differentiation of x square will give us 2x to the power 2 minus 1 using first formula. So what we are going to get is ax square into 2ax, right? So you have to directly learn this formula, that differentiation of e to the power ax square is equals to this one. Now differentiation of sin x always gives cos x. Differentiation of cos x gives minus of sin x. Differentiation of sin ax, a is a constant, it will give cos ax into a. How I've done this? See, differentiation of sin ax is going to be cos ax, and then we have ax. After sin, this part is going to get differentiated, so differentiation of ax will be a into dx by dx, so that comes out to be 1. So that's why I've written only a. So you just have to remember this. If you can understand this, then that is very good. If you're from mathematical background, then you need not remember all these things, right? You can solve it by your own. You just have to remember this formula, right? And this one also, and then afterwards you can derive all of them. But if you're not from mathematical background, you can still learn them. They're very easy to learn. Also from people from mathematical background, they also have to learn these two formulas also, right? This is so far about the differentiation part. Now we'll move on to the formulas which are required in the integration. But before that, we have one more formula left, that is d by dx of u into v. So here now u and v are not constant, these are two functions. So these two functions are getting multiplied and we want to get the derivative of these two. So what we have to do is, first we have to write the first function as it is and then differentiate the second one. Then we have to write the second function as it is and differentiate the first function. Remember that these two are not constant, these two are functions. Okay, these two are functions of x. So this is the formula. So at first sight, those who are from biology background, not from mathematical background, they will be thinking that it's quite tough, but believe me, once you start solving the questions, it becomes very easy for you. You first have to remember this formula, right? After that, d by dx of e to the power ax, you just have to remember function as it is multiplied by a. After this, these two formulas you need to learn. D by dx of sin x is cos x is minus sin x. When we have to differentiate again the function of sine, but here x is multiplied by a constant, then differentiation of sin x will be same. Sin ax will be equal to cos ax, but multiplied by the constant which is multiplied here, a. Okay, Now, last formula, which is differentiation of these two functions which are getting multiplied here. These two functions u and v are not constants, these are functions. So what we have to do is, first function derivation of second plus second function derivative of first. So these are the formulas which will be required in the differentiation part. So now we'll move on to the formulas which will be required in the integration part. Now we are going to discuss the formulas of integration here only, so that you can relate these two types of formulas. So here we are going to discuss the formulas of integration. So first we are going to discuss integration of x to the power n dx. This is the sign for integration, and we have to write with respect to which variable we are integrating. Here it is dx. Here we were writing d by dx with respect to which variable which we were differentiating. Here we have to write with respect to which variable we are integrating. So here it is dx. Here we were differentiating x to the power n. Now here it is integration of x to the power n, which will be equal to x to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. We just have to add 1 to the power, and that same constant will be divided. N plus 1 will be divided. This is the first formula. Now with this, moving on to the second formula, that is integration of e to the power ax dx. Right, here we have differentiated here integration, so it will be e to the power ax divided by a. Here it was multiplied by a. Right, here in this formula it was multiplied by a. Here in integration it is divided by a. So that's why I'm writing side by side, so that you can relate the formulas. Now integration of sin x dx, that will be minus of cos x. Okay, here it was plus of cos x, here it is minus of cos x. Now integration of cos x dx, that will be sin x. Here it was minus sin x. So this is the difference. Now integration of sin ax dx, that will be equal to minus cos ax divided by a. Okay, now this was the last formula of differentiation. Now we are not going to see the formula for integration of two functions, because that is very tedious process and we will not be requiring that. So we are not going to discuss the integration of two functions which are getting multiplied. So now this is it for the formulas of integration. So I hope you can relate the formulas, and now it will be easier for you to learn the formulas. So now if I write down a question that you have to integrate x to the power 4 dx, then how you are going to do it? That will be x to the power 4 plus 1 divided by 4 plus 1. I'm using the first formula. So you will be getting x to the power 5 divided by 5. Now one more thing, in integration they can give you the limits, that is integrate x to the power 4 dx with the limits 0 to 1. Suppose they have given the limits. So what all you have to do is, first of all, just integrate the formula as you would normally do, right? Just like this. And after that, what you have to do is put the limits from 0 to 1. From 0 to 1. Now in order to solve the limit, what you have to do is first take out the constant out. So 1 by 5 will be here. Now it will be left with x to the power 5 limit 0 to 1. Now in order to remove the limit, what you have to do is 1 to the power 5 will remain here. What we have to do is upper limit minus lower limit. So instead of x, first I am going to put the upper limit, that is 1. So it will be 1 to the power 5, that is upper limit, minus lower limit minus 0 to the power 5. So it will be 1 by 5 in the bracket. 1 to the power 5 will be 1 minus 0. So it will be 1 by 5. So this way, if they are giving the limits, then you just have to solve the way you solve always, and then at the end you have to put the limits, that is upper limit minus lower limit, and you will be getting your answer. So this is so far about the integration part. Now there are some more formulas along with differentiation and integration formulas which you will be requiring during quantum chemistry. So there are few formulas left that also we are going to discuss now. Now there are two relations of trigonometry which we will be requiring. So first relation is sine square theta can be written as equal to 1 minus cos 2 theta divided by 2. And there is one more formula, that is cos square theta will be equal to 1 plus cos 2 theta divided by 2. These are the two formulas. Now one more thing from trigonometry which you should remember, that is the values of sine theta and cos theta ranging from 0 to 90 degree. Only these two will be required. So these are the angles I'm writing: 0, 30, 45, 60 and 90. And we have to learn the corresponding sine and cos values. First we are going to talk about the sine theta values. So sine 0 is 0, then sine 30 is 1 by 2, then 1 by root 2, root 3 by 2, and then it is 1. So how you are going to allocate the values, that is sine 0 is 0, sine 30 1 by 2, sine 45 1 by root 2, sine 60 root 3 by 2, sine 90 1. Now for cos theta what you have to do is just write down these values in reverse order. Okay, so 1 root 3 by 2, 1 by root 2, 1 by 2, 0. Okay, just the values which I have written here in reverse order you have to write down here for cos values. So cos 0 1, cos 30 root 3 by 2, and so on. So these values it should be on your tips. Now one more thing which you should remember is sine n pi is always equals to 0, where n can be any number, 0 1 2 3 any. Okay, this is first thing. And then second thing is cos n pi can be equal to plus 1 or can be equal to minus 1. It is going to be equal to plus 1 when n is any even value. Okay, and it is going to be minus 1 if n is any odd value. This also you have to remember. So far these are the formulas which you will be requiring. There are 3 more formulas which you should remember. These are not basically the formulas, these are basically going to help you to shorten up your calculations. So you can say these are basically the shortcuts, so that you don't have to go through overall numerical. So starting out with the first formula, integration m to n, this is the limit given, sine square bx dx. B is also a constant, so it will be 1 by 2 x limit m to n 1 minus 4b sine 2bx limit m to n. Now you can derive this also, but derivation will be lengthy, so I would rather advise you to learn this. Okay, second thing which you can learn is integration of cos square bx. So it will be 1 by 2 x to the x limit m to n plus 1 upon 4b sine 2bx limit m to n. So these all are same, but here signs are changed. Okay, instead of minus here it is plus. One last formula, that is 0 to infinity r to the power n e to the power minus alpha r dr will be equal to n factorial alpha to the power n plus 1. We'll talk about what is factorial in the next video, because video is going very lengthy. So we will talk about what is this factorial in the next video, and we'll try to solve some of the questions, maybe one or two, and then we'll jump on to the next topic. So those of you who are from biology background, or also if you are from mathematical background but still you are facing some problems in the differentiation as well as the integration part, so I will make separate videos in which we will be solving some questions. We will be practicing questions based on these formulas which we have studied, so that you are clear with how to apply these formulas. So we will cover that questions in some other video, in some other series, or maybe what I'm going to do is I will just put those videos under the playlist which is general concepts of physical chemistry, so that will be under that topic. So in this series we are just going to discuss the formulas, followed by some of the questions if time allows, and after that we are going to jump to the next topic. Okay, so I think this video is going very long, so far that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching.